This is Pinball Fantasies. Pinball Fantasies is the second in the original 21st Century Pinball trilogy, sandwiched between Pinball Dreams and Pinball Illusions. It comes on 4 3.5-inch floppy disks, and each one of these disks is a different table to play. So 4 tables in total. It also comes with a little fold-out sheet which tells you how to play each table. I found that the tables were a good degree of complexity. It wasn't overwhelming and it wasn't too simple. But enough of this, let's pop the game on and see how it all plays. Pinball Fantasies is the second in the original 21st Century Pinball trilogy, sandwiched between Pinball Dreams and Pinball Illusions. Pinball Dreams was the first video pinball game to be in this particular style. It's got super fluid, smooth scrolling tables, awesome music, and colorful backdrops. Epic Pinball by Epic Games, which used to be Epic Mega Games, copied this formula to great success. And that was followed by Extreme Pinball. Yeah, so if you had a DOS machine back then, you were likely familiar with Epic Pinball. Though if you had an Amiga, you were familiar with Pinball Dreams or Fantasies or Illusions. Pinball Fantasies takes the already competent design in Dreams and steps it up a notch. Like Dreams, it gives you 4 tables to choose from, and each are an absolute joy to play. Partyland could be the best table in the pack, aside from the music. Seriously, I really dislike this music. It sounds like the musician had to write some wacky music and didn't know what else to do. You can tell the musician is a lot more comfortable with the funkier styles on this pack. But aside from this table, the music is one of the highlights of the game. Most music in the game is full-on demo-style funk, and you can tell the musician is pulling every technique out to push the Amiga's sound chip to the max. Speed Devils is my personal favorite because I'm a total sucker for racing-related tables like this and High Speed. In this one, you must overtake cars by spilling out gear, G-E-A-R, and you do that by hitting targets and shooting the 2 ramps. This table is highly reminiscent of High Speed or The Getaway. I was just playing The Getaway over at Free Gold Watch, which is a really great pinball place over in the Haight in San Francisco. The other 2 tables, Billion Dollar Game Show and Stones and Bones, are also both quite fun. Billion Dollar Game Show has you participating in a cheesy game show, shooting targets and ramps to win prizes. You spin the wheel and see what you can get. Finally, Stones and Bones is a horror-themed table with fun wavy ramps that the ball bounces down and a mean kickback. The physics for Pinball Fantasies are incredible for the time, and they even hold up today. They even feel better than some later pinball games. You can do stuff like making a shot off of a bumper. Check this out. I had no problem doing stuff like that, or passing the ball between the flippers in a variety of ways. Not only that, but the basics are all really good too. I had no issue aiming the ball where I wanted it to go. The tables also seem to be made with advanced play techniques in mind. The various ramps and targets are cleverly arranged to require all different kinds of shots to hit, and many of the tables thoughtfully include a center post. The center post makes sure that every time the ball drains, it's because it's your fault. It's clear that The people who made this game had a good appreciation of pinball, and these are some of the most fun tables I've ever played in a video pinball game. The craftsmanship really is there, and the ball motion feels like what it's supposed to portray, whether it's shooting alternating ramps to overtake cars in Speed Devils, spinning the wheel in Billion Dollar Game Show, or navigating the twisty-turny maze of Partyland ramps. Seriously, if there is a word that meant onomatopoeic but for pinball, it would describe these tables to a T. However, as good as these tables are, none of them have multi-ball. In so many pinball games, activating multi-ball is a highlight, but it's nowhere to be found in this one. But given the overall quality of the tables, this seems more like a minor nitpick. One more nitpick is that there aren't many mechanical pinball table noises compared with later sims, which does make the table feel like it has less weight than something like the Williams collection, though physics-wise, the ball avoids that floaty feeling that ruins so many lesser pinball games. Now, there are two versions of the game available for the Amiga, EGA and Original. EGA is the graphics on the newer Amigas that came out in the early 90s as opposed to the ones from the mid-80s. The EGA version of the game is a mixed bag. It's missing this menu of this older 32-color version, and so what you're seeing here you don't get with the EGA one. Instead, you get this. Okay, well, I'm sure there's going to be something cool after this copy protection, right? Wow. Yeah, nothing screams fun like a text mode menu. This version has no title screen whatsoever and no dramatic music when you start it up. The game does already come on 4 discs, and I suppose they didn't want to throw in a 5th just for the title screen and music, which is understandable, but it just comes off feeling a little bit unfinished. They likely could have squeezed in a simple graphical menu, perhaps with a cool graphical effect, and a chip tune, but perhaps they were just too busy working on Pinball Illusions, the sequel. But the EGA edition does add quite a lot of detail which is absent from the original edition. The gradients are smoothed out, and the sides of the tables are smeared with appealing psychedelic colors. So, hardware. As far as I can tell, the game requires an Amiga capable of PAL, otherwise the screen will be cut off and you won't be able to see the flippers. There might be an NTSC fix out there somewhere, but I haven't really looked too hard. This is also why I'm recording the game in composite video, so sorry if it's a little bit blurrier than usual. There are also ports of this from the time for DOS and Atari Jaguar and Super Nintendo. I've heard though that the Super Nintendo version is buggy, so maybe try out the ports before you plunk down the cash. I did see that the DOS one is available on GOG, and there appear to be mobile versions as well, but I can't vouch for these because I haven't played them, though I did try the DOS demo briefly. I can say that the low-resolution graphics look quite a bit nicer on a CRT than they did on my laptop, though I don't know how much of the difference was just that. Anyway, the Amiga Original really is fantastic. Great tables, great physics, and great tunes make this one of the best video pinball games ever. If you've got an Amiga and like pinball, you need to go get this one right away.